Hi Aquarius, this is going to be your reading for March 2019. Now, as you know, I haven't done any readings for the past 3 months. I was unwell and had to have treatment. Unfortunately, some of the side effects from that meant that I couldn't do the readings. One of the effects being making me very tired. The other one giving me a very dry mouth. That is still there slightly. It is improving, but I will have to pause to have some water through this reading. And because my mouth does get quite dry, it can make my voice sound a little bit distorted. So if that is the case, then all I can do is apologize. Before I start your reading, I want to say a massive thank you to the people who continued to email me while I was ill, to check up on me and make sure I was okay. You know who you are, so I won't mention your names as that's personal, but you'll never know how grateful I am that you took the time out of your busy schedule to check up on me and make sure I was okay. Now, Aquarius, I'm going to do your reading. I have to say that I've noticed for this month in March that most of the other signs have had readings concerning new beginnings and things coming to an end. Just 1 second, please, Aquarius. Sorry about that. So yeah, as I was saying, that a lot of the other signs I've noticed that the readings are talking about ending. So I don't know what's taking place in March. I don't really delve into astrology, so I don't know if there's something to do with the planets. But, you know, there is a lot of endings taking place, and yours seem to be very similar again, because your central issue is the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the Ace, as we know, is a new beginning, and the Pentacles can very much deal with our finances, our material world, our security, our job, okay? The Pentacle in this card is very big. So, but, you know, as I said, it can talk about going down a new path, okay? But whether it's finances, work, a new path, moving, whatever it is, there is something new coming through. But with the past coming through, you've got the Five of Cups. Now, this is a card that can deal with regrets and remorse. It can deal with feeling the need to make an apology to somebody or waiting for somebody to apologize to us. It can be about focusing very heavily on something that we have lost, something that impacts us emotionally. But the thing that we are not paying attention to with the Five of Cups is the 2 cups here that are still standing. One is us, the other is representing somebody else. Somebody else that's got our back. Somebody else that is there helping and supporting us. Now, this doesn't have to be talking about another person in terms of a personal relationship here. It can be a family member, it can be a friend, but somebody else that is there by our side who is going to help us and support us. But as long as we're still living in the past, so to speak, as long as we're focusing on the loss of something from the past, it may be difficult for us to welcome in something new with this Ace of Pentacles. In the present, we have another ace. Now, this is the Ace of Wands. Now, the Ace of Wands is to do with action. It's very much a card about our actions. It's also a card to do with passion, excitement. You know, this reading for me is not focusing so much for me on a relationship here. But the Ace of Wands can be often referred to as one of the most passionate, if you like, cards in the tarot. But the Ace of Wands is talking about a new beginning again in terms of action that we may need to take, and in terms of our passions, getting fired up about something and feeling a sense of excitement. In your advice, you have the World, and this has come out a few times today. And the World is an ending of a chapter, a cycle. It is the closing of one door in order to open a new door, in order to start a new cycle, a new chapter. So it's in your advice. So it's there advising you that you need to close the door on something now. You need to welcome in, the new things that are coming forward. Close the door on what has been lost with the Five of Cups. Stop focusing on the loss of something from the past. In your environment, and this card has come out a few times, we have the Seven of Pentacles. This is a card about how we've already invested in something. We've got to a 7. And then we stop and we start to analyze. Should we invest any more? Are we going to see a return on our investment? Is it worth our while to continue to invest? Again, whether this is a relationship, whether this is a work situation, whatever it is, we're questioning now. Are we going to get back what we have invested? Hopes and fears. Knight of Swords. Now, in terms of your hopes and fears, it could go one or two ways, because if that knight is talking about you, and it is your energy there being of the swords, it could be a hope. Because this knight, he goes charging in because he's got something to say. He goes charging in with communication. But this knight could be charging towards you with communication. Now, hopes and fears is not the reality. So when I'm talking about it, doesn't mean it's going to happen. But what I'm saying is, you may be fearing that somebody's going to come charging in and say something. But at the same time, you may be hoping that you're going to be able to go charging in and say something. You see what I mean? It could go either way here, okay? Now, your outcome, again, is endings. We have the Death card. And this card, again, has been very persistent today in the readings. The Death card is a natural ending. It is the natural cycle of something coming to an end. It's an ending that we knew was inevitable. It is possible for you that this ending has already taken place, but for some reason you're focusing still on the loss of it, rather than trying to open a new door and move on. Now, your card at the bottom of the deck is the Emperor. So major card here. Now, the Emperor, he is the one that's in control. He rules his empire. And I think this is a message here, Aquarius, that this is what you need to do. You've got to stop now focusing on what's lost. This Five of Cups also could be very much a pity party here. And, people will only support you for so long before in the end they're going to say, look, if you're not going to pull yourself together, then I'm not going to deal with this anymore. Stop now. The Emperor, he is strong. He rules his empire. He doesn't need anybody else to advise him. He is the one that gives the advice. Take on the energy and the strength of the Emperor. Stop focusing on what you've lost. Now, your card from the Psychic Tarot by John Holland, it is called Firm Foundation. And I'm going to read you a little bit from the book about what this card is about. This card denotes that you have already or are currently working toward establishing a solid foundation in the material world. And that may be the case for you, Aquarius. But when it comes to your emotions, you're focusing on something from the past. It goes on to say that using good judgment and heeding lessons from the past concerning financial matters will assist you in laying a firm groundwork. By doing so, security will have a better chance of building in the future. So, look, maybe this emotional loss here and this loss that you're focusing on is connected in some way to your finances. Maybe somebody that was very close to you did something to you in terms of your finances, okay? Maybe that's the case for some of you. But either way, this firm foundation. So look, if you're not already working on a firm foundation when it comes to your finances, then maybe the card is there to suggest that this is what you need to focus on. You've got to focus on the firm foundation. Question, yes. Is it worth continuing to invest in this, or should I cut my losses? Because we have two cards here, two aces, new stuff coming through. The World card, ending of a chapter, of a cycle, a door closing. The Death card, natural ending here. Your Romance Oracle card is good. It is, this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. So look, for some of you, you know, it may be that you're in a relationship with somebody and this is the one. It may be that you have crossed paths with somebody in the past and that person is the one, okay? But nonetheless, Aquarius, if there's one thing to take out of this reading, or two things really, is one, to stop focusing on what's been lost and to start focusing on what you have in your life. And number two, to start building that firm foundation. Okay, Aquarius, I hope you've enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much, and I'll be back soon. Take care. Bye.